Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Gamerverse. I still think that's the corniest thing. Gamerverse Psylock versus Thanos, which is definitely not Marvel vs. Capcom, because licensing, but it's the Marvel vs. Capcom Psylock and Thanos. And I've heard good things and bad things about this set, and I'm going to try to address all of it, so you guys get all the information you need to decide if you want to track this thing down. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before I show you the figures, I do want to show you my package. It's a nice package. I like the front and center just facing you with the accessories and everything. This is the way to do it. It'd be nice if there was a window at the top. There is not, just their Gamerverse logo. That's definitely not the type of thing a gamer would come up with. That's funny. You get the pixelated Psylocke and Thanos if you like that. Cool. You get some sprite there, and or pixel art we'll call it, and Thanos there, and then on this side you get Psylocke there with purple hair, and there you go. That's what they look like. Review over. No, the back's cool. It looks nice. It looks good. This motif tells you exactly what the figures are from. So, nice enough package for sure. Hasbro's been doing a pretty good job with packaging lately, so I like that. Alright, let's start with this guy. Well, we're going to review both of them. I think I'll just alternate back and forth for each segment, just so like we'll do height, we'll do it all like normal, and just bounce between the two figures. This guy stands to the top of his head about 19.5. You can get a little bit more if you count his little horn thingies, and that's going to make him just about 7 3/4 inches tall. For Psylocke, we get about 6 1/4, and that's going to be 16 centimeters. So you can see here they are up against each other. Roughly, I'm just holding them, but that's about what they look like. And then there is Darwin, somewhere just above Psylocke's height. Alright, let's do a question of the day. How do you guys feel about Target exclusives? I hate them. I can't get them ever. My brother got this because he has a connection with somebody who works at Target. I have no luck personally, so thanks to him for getting me a set. Okay, so I hate Target exclusives. They're worse than Walmart. Although Walmart ones are generally crappy too, these ones were easy to get this year because they were part of that collector con. Okay, so let's talk about this. Aesthetically speaking, well, no, you know what? Before aesthetically speaking, I've heard some people say they hate that this is a 2-pack. People only want this one, they don't want this guy, and so it's terrible. I disagree completely, because for me, I like this more than this, just based on character selection. I don't care as much about another Psylocke. I do care about this version of Thanos. In fact, for me, this is the best look Thanos has ever had. Granted, I think that's true for all the Marvel vs. Capcom designs, so her included, but his is more noticeably different. So, 2-packs in general do suck, I'll give you that. I don't like 2-packs. I'd rather just be able to choose what I want to buy, and that's that. However, I don't think this one's any worse than any of the other ones, because they're both welcomed additions to people who are trying to do an MvC display. If you only wanted a new Psylocke because you're a comic fan, well, this isn't a set for you. It's a set for people who want MvC, and if you do want that, you probably want both. So it's no worse a 2-pack than anything else. In fact, I would say it's one of the better ones they've done, because I personally would be very happy to buy both of these if they weren't together. And so I'm fine with them being together. But yes, as a rule, 2-packs are a kind of scummy practice that usually just sets up the company to make extra money. Okay, so let's talk about the aesthetics on this guy. He does have the MvC look, so all the add-on parts essentially are new. Here, 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 and here. I don't know if I mentioned here, 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 and here. Yes, all 5. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 5 things, if you count the hands together. I think it looks great in terms of the new parts. I love the new head. I think that looks awesome. I love the bigger shoulder pads. I'm thrilled with the way Thanos came out, except for one thing. There's one thing that didn't turn out. But as far as making an MvC Thanos, I mean, other than the usual Marvel Legends issues, I'm just thrilled with this. I think the base Thanos was a good enough figure to begin with, and this is still the same thing. So a couple of the problems, we still have this down here, this strap sculpted in, just not colored. That's cheap as hell looking, looks bad. We have this orange paint job here, which should match these. It doesn't. This is extra glossy. These are not. This is not as glossy, and then this is metallic. It's like, what are you doing, Hasbro? Pick one. So that's an issue. Another small issue would be there's a little spot of shading here and here, right on the quads, just in the center. There's a little bit right here, and that's it. There's nothing on the arms. So that looks bad. And then the arms, they're a different finish than the legs. And both of those are a different finish than this, though the legs are a lot closer. The arms are just very different. They're noticeably different. You can see it. They don't have any of the wrinkles or things. I guess the legs don't either, do they? No, they don't. But yeah, this has some wrinkles because of the straps. It doesn't look right because the arms don't match. If you're not super paying attention to it, you're not going to notice it as much, but it does kind of suck. The new parts are fine. It's still just molded plastic. It looks like a kind of unfinished product. It should have more paint on it, should have more consistency, and that would make it much better. But he does look good, like the new parts match what they're supposed to match, and he looks pretty darn good. Now we have Psylock, probably the one more people are interested in than Thanos. But like I said, I still think Thanos was a perfectly worthy addition to the collection in terms of choice. Here's the thing with Psylock. Well, there's a couple of things, okay? So they went with her sprite look, which is good, that's fine. It's kind of what the sprite looks like with the X logo sort of in the straps, which isn't exactly what they are, but whatever. They did that. They gave her the bigger, meatier legs, which is fine. That's kind of where it stops. Like, in terms of the aesthetics, the face is wrong. It's technically a good sculpt. Like, that's a good lady face. That's a good, realistic lady face, and it's painted pretty darn well. It doesn't look like what it's supposed to in the slightest. It looks like cosplay. Like a fairly pretty lady cosplaying Psylock. That's fine. But the face doesn't match the body at all in terms of details, and it's just not the right look. In addition to that, we have the hair, which is black with some purple highlights, which just terminate in a flat line at the bottom. The black lowlights, I guess I should say, terminate. That's not what she looks like in the game at all. The hair is not right matched to the game in any way, so that sucks. They had to paint flesh tones on top of blue plastic, or at least that's what they chose to do, and it's a travesty. It is a really bad situation. You can see the painted parts right here. Those look like straight butts. The painted parts on the torso look even worse. It's not even close to the same color. It's not opaque. You can see the blue coming through. Same thing down here. It looks terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. They painted the blue on the flesh tone right here, so that's okay, but then down here, they painted the flesh tone on top of the blue, and it's not opaque at all, and it looks like crap. The paint job on her hands is generally crappy also. The paint job on the belt is okay. So it looks like garbage, honestly. Having the flesh tones not match at all throughout the figure with so much flesh showing, it's like you couldn't do better. Is it even sculpted? No, those bastards, they're going to reuse this, so they didn't sculpt her clothing onto her chest. Their plan is to reuse these parts, other than right here. So this part is not going to get reused and this part won't. The rest will. So it's not sculpted on the chest. Everything is sculpted. All the clothing seams are sculpted except for on the chest. And is it down here? Yeah, so that's sculpted too. So just around the chest it's not. That sucks. And also, by the way, the sculpt is bad. Sorry. If you look in the game, and anybody in real life, you'll know that the shoulders should be higher. They're not. She has giant traps as a result of this weird sculpt, and then the shoulders are low and relatively small. They should be up. In the sprite, for instance, even when her shoulder is down, there's a little bit of muscle sticking up. So this makes her look kind of dumpy. The low shoulders makes her look dumpy, just like every other Marvel Legends with low shoulders. The other issue we have is they gave her some pretty thick legs, which is a great thing. She's got really thick legs in the game. Her butt is very thick also. Another good thing, it matches the legs. You can't do one without the other. That's nice. I don't love the sculpt on the legs. It's a little weird looking for the quads, but it's fine. So you have that, but then they did the chest. The chest doesn't match the game art at all. Her boobs are kind of big from the side, but from the front you don't even see them. So it's a weird shaped chest that doesn't match the legs, and it makes it look a little bit weird. Add that to the weird low shoulders with the high thick traps, and it's just kind of a strange looking figure when we're talking about the sculpt. Yes, you can pose it and it's going to look fine posed, but it would look better posed if the sculpt was the way it was supposed to be. So, aesthetically speaking, they did some good stuff with this guy. I like the new sculpted parts, but the paint application and finish is just not anywhere near good enough. This lady, they did some good things with the sculpt, and mostly the paint application is terrible other than the face, but it doesn't look like the right face. And the new sculpted parts in a lot of cases aren't very good. So far, we're not exactly batting 1,000 here. I'm going to say these are just 7s out of 10 for the aesthetic, and that's super generous. That's super generous. There probably should be lower. In fact, I'm going to go lower. She gets a 6 because of her skin tone not matching. He can have a 7. Alright, now it's time for the accessories. For Thanos, get ready to hold onto your seats. because he only gets the one. It's just the alternate hand. So it's pretty well painted, though. I like that. That looks nice, but that's it. Now for Psylock, you get an alternate head, which does not solve any of the problems that the first head had. It still doesn't look like her. It doesn't look like an angry face. It looks like a scared face. Again, nice paint and sculpt, but doesn't look anything like her in the sculpt itself. It's a good sculpt for a scared face. So there's that. Alright, and then for hands, you get the gripping hand and the fist hand to come on her in the package. And then you get a 2-finger hand. You get a couple style post hands. I don't need to describe them. You can see. So you get those. And now you get some psionic effects. These 2 big swooshy ones. Those are pretty cool. The daggery type one. That's pretty cool. And then the one that goes on her face. As of yet, I haven't been able to get that on her face. So I don't know if you guys have had trouble with that or not. I am still going to work at it and see if I can. And I'll leave a note in the video. But that's it for accessories. So nothing extraordinary. But a decent enough spread, I guess, for Psylock. Nothing for Thanos. 7 out of 10. I'm not thrilled with what we've got. It's good enough, but nothing impressive. Alright, now as far as articulation goes, Thanos is going to be all the same as before for the most part. Some newness going on. We have a double ball peg in here, which does work well enough. It's okay. It's certainly not as good as it should be, but I'll take it. It's alright. The shoulders, not quite horizontal. Rotation's going to be limited by this, which does flex, so I'll give him that. Bicep swivel is fine. Single jointed elbow, less than 90 degrees. This guy's not posing very well. This guy's not doing much. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Ab crunch on this guy. Does lean back nicely, so I have no complaints there actually as far as an ab crunch goes on him. That's pretty good. Can't lean forward. That sucks. Waist twist is fine. This is a floating piece, so it will get out of the way. Bringing the legs out to the side. Not very far. A little bit better than 45. Going forward. It's alright. This guy is not posing a lot. He's not going to be as limited as Juggernaut, but he is not getting a lot done. As for the knees, better than 90. I'll take that. It's an ugly knee system, but it's there. No boot rotation. Foot goes pretty far back and pretty far forward, and the ankle rocker is solid. So he'll be fine. Thanos, I guess, shouldn't be as agile, but he's probably too limited for what he should be, but he'll do. So I'll give him... He's going to get a 6 out of 10. It's somewhat justifiable, but he's only going to get a 6. Now for Psylock. Let's see. Did this wonderful new release actually turn out to be any good for posing? Well, you get a double ball peg for the head, but the ball doesn't have exactly a ton of range, as per usual. It's maybe not the worst thing they've ever done, and they did make the neck much taller, so the lollipop situation is gone. Her neck is pretty thick, though. They'll get there, guys. They'll figure it out eventually. So the ball peg does still have almost no range. Like, there's some, of course, but they just haven't figured it out. The hair is still basically hard. It's not actually. It's PVC, but it's still in the way. So her head's not moving very much at all. Her butterfly joint, which just completely omits any sculpt work at all, which I don't necessarily care about. That's fine, because sculpting a butterfly just doesn't work anyway, because it doesn't make sense. But it's functional, so I'll give them that. It's a little bit too gappy, but it is functional, so that's not bad in terms of having a butterfly on there. That's okay. The shoulder goes up to horizontal. You're going to get your full rotation, and your bicep swivel. That's all standard. Double jointed elbow, no problem. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. They work like wrists. For the diaphragm joint, it works, but just a little bit, not a ton. They could definitely do a whole lot better. It feels like a single ball, and it seems like it's not designed well. So there's that. You get your rotation here. You get your upside down ab crunch, which doesn't go very far back, and it goes pretty far forward, but looks kind of silly. So yeah, it's still not the right way to do it. Like they're just stuck in their ways. Will you be able to hit necessary poses? Well enough, but it could be a lot better. And that's the goal here, guys. We want things to get better, not to just be like, oh, well, you know what? It's good enough, and we'll just take our money. All right, for the hips, they look like they might work well. They're well seated in the sculpt. The pivot point's not right. So you have these blue caves above her hips, because they put the point of rotation in the wrong spot. So she can't hit the splits. It's pretty good range, but she'd be able to have better range, and it would look better if they knew what they were doing. So that's unfortunate. And then going forward, yeah, her legs go forward to horizontal, so that's good. They look decent enough going forward. There's no huge gapping or anything, other than the paint not being... that paint job is just wild. All right, for the thighs, you get your thigh swivel hidden. in the sculpt, so that's nice. Double jointed knee works nicely. Proportioning is good enough, and the ankles go all the way back, all the way forward. Ankle rocker is fine. So her articulation is solid. You get the butterfly, the neck is messed up, the torso is not great. I'll go 8 out of 10. It's better than average for Marvel Legends, but it's still severely lacking, and for a lot of new parts, they should just be better. Hasbro should have figured things out by now that they seem to not have figured out. So that's unfortunate. But it's time to give this 2-pack an overall rating. Is it a really, really good thing that I'm just thrilled to own? No, certainly not. It does not stand out that much for Marvel Legends. Is this one maybe better in some ways than most Marvel Legends have been? Yes, but then they ruined it with the paint job where the skin tone on half the figure is just completely wrong. Does this guy look decent enough for a mostly reused figure? Kind of, except they screwed up the finish and paint job on this guy too, and he's a mostly reused figure. So it's like, it's just more of the same, guys. Hasbro is not actually doing us any favors. They're releasing things people want to buy, at least. I'll give them that. Like the MvC line, like sure, yes, that's the one thing I want more than anything from Marvel is Marvel vs. Capcom type stuff. So I'll give them that, but I think they know that that's what people want, and so they only put minimal effort into it. None of their figures feel like passion projects. I shouldn't say none. Almost none of their figures feel like anybody gives a crap. It's just enough. And I'm not saying that's necessarily on the sculptors or the designers. It might be all the way up at the top at the pencil pushers. But certain things like paint job for sure, that's like, obviously that's not the people designing the figures. But certain things definitely would be, like major issues in sculpts for new figures, or articulation not working when it wouldn't cost more to fix. That kind of stuff, like we have to... Where's that problem coming from? There's no way to say for sure, but there's definitely a problem with the Marvel Legends team and not innovating articulation, not coming up with even good ways to use existing articulation. The same problems over and over again. But hey, we did finally get a neck that doesn't have a lollipop on it, so hey, progress, guys, baby steps. One baby step forward, 4,000 miles backwards. But whatever. All right, I'm going to give it an overall rating of 7 out of 10. It's a fine enough 2-pack. If you want Marvel vs. Capcom stuff, it's not going to kill you. You're not going to hate it. You're going to want to repaint Psylocke and probably Thanos, and they'll be fine. But they're certainly not impressive overall. In some ways, yes, but overall, no. So that's it for me, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.